So you've seen the title, self-improvement is a scam, and you're probably thinking, oh, this guy's just not tried hard enough, this guy, he's given up on self-improvement, he doesn't know what he's talking about, he's just a hater, blah de blah de blah. But if your attention span can sit through this video, I'm gonna explain why this industry is rotten, and why self-improvement itself is kind of a scam, but there's more to it than it seems. So the core truth behind self-improvement and the self-help industry is quite helpful. And it has changed my life for the better, and if it wasn't for these YouTubers, these videos, and eventually the books that I started to read 4 years ago, I would not be the man that I am today, and I'm very grateful to all of the content that I've consumed up until this point. However, behind all the glamour, there is a dark side to it, and that is a bunch of crap in the books. There's YouTubers who are just absolute scammers and liars, and let's just get straight into it, to be honest. You might have seen the scandal fairly recently with Hamza and his previous editor Sam Harbon, and he was exposed as being very manipulative, fictionalizing his lifestyle and his habits, and he didn't actually do them consistently himself while he was making videos telling you why you need to do it, otherwise your life is going to be shit. He spent a huge amount of time, allegedly, sleeping and smoking weed and sleeping around, but on his videos he would claim that he meditates and he's always working out and he's always working on his business. This is one of the biggest things that I don't like about these YouTubers, and I used to be a Hamza fan, but they have this perfect perception to them, and it makes the young men who are watching them aspire to be like that, and they beat themselves up over it, they feel guilty, they go into overthinking spirals, and the truth behind the matter is the creator that you're idolizing doesn't actually do it themselves. So Hamza, as a notable example, has a huge arrogant ego, and he can never admit when he's wrong, and he's also changed his content strategy and his philosophies like a million times, so whoever's watching him at this point doesn't even know what to follow. He's also been exposed for being on TRT as well, so it's not looking the best for him right now. This isn't a hate video on him by any means, you know, I don't dislike him as a person per se, and a lot of his early content did definitely benefit me, but it's just quite funny to see somebody who's at the top of the industry to get exposed the way he has. The thing is, a lot of these habits and lifestyle changes are genuinely great for you, like journaling for example. One of the greatest emperors in Rome and a great philosopher, Marcus Aurelius, literally journaled all the time, and his notes are what we have compiled into a book of meditations. Waking up early, going to the gym, maybe taking cold showers, reading books, reducing your screen time, all of this stuff is great on paper, but when it comes to practicality, it is kind of a huge waste of time. Like journaling, I myself do probably once every couple months, like literally once every blue moon, and I'm not going to say the habit itself is shit, because, you know, maybe I do need it, or maybe I want to just reflect on my life, or maybe reflect on a period of time, or maybe something crazy's happened and I just need some time of reflection. It is a genuinely great habit to have. However, I've had the period, the morning routines and everything, the times where I'm trying to journal every single morning, doing gratitude journals and all of this stuff, but quite frankly, it's a waste of time. It doesn't benefit you that much to do it that consistently. And also, when it comes to your actual goals, it doesn't really benefit you whatsoever. So let's say your goal is business. How is journaling every single day and wasting like 15-30 minutes to journal? That's not really going to help you whatsoever. Same thing with these elaborate and extravagant morning routines where you need to get sunlight because Dr. Huberman said it, and you should work out first thing in the morning, and you should also have a cold shower, and you should also read for 30 minutes, and you should also sort out your calendar, or I don't know, whatever bullshit people do, but it's all a waste of time when the most high leverage task, let's say you're studying and your goal is to become a doctor, the most high leverage task is to just study. So instead of wasting like 1, 2, 3 hours in the morning doing your morning routine, just spend those hours studying straight away when your brain is in its best state and it has prime activity, its highest energy levels. For me, I've had periods of growth in my life where I've grown the most, and it's usually been when I've not been following all of these routines, meditating, reading and all of this stuff. Like, I'm gonna admit, reading has been a bit of a drawback of mine recently. Is it something I'm gonna work on? Yes. But does that mean I can't do my business work now, or I can't study, or I can't improve my social skills because I've not been reading? No. Me not doing meditation, I personally just don't do it. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna get benefits in other parts of my life. You know, everybody trying to harp on and say you need to do this all in one go every single day, otherwise you're not gonna be successful, and otherwise you're a piece of shit, is just fear mongering, and it's a way for you to carry on watching their videos because you're not going to be consistent with every single habit that they're telling you to do. And for me, when I've been in these periods, I've just put myself in the ringer and I've got a shit ton of experience, whether that be with the gym. I've been going to the gym for 4 years now, and I've kind of just learned and evolved over time. Same with socializing and improving my confidence. Just doing the gym only isn't going to help me do that, so I've gone through the ringer, I've gone through the experience, talking to everybody. I have almost zero social anxiety at this point. It's still something I can tweak and improve over time. But if I need to go ask a random stranger on the street a question, or if I want to do a prank, or if I want to do anything that I want, I have like little to no social anxiety, and I can just do whatever I want. And it's very relieving and powerful to be able to do that, because I used to be shy and anxious, and not even just 3-4 years ago, literally 1 to 2 years ago, I would struggle with speaking to certain people and certain situations. I would be afraid, I wouldn't stand up for myself, and now I do. And during that time, it wasn't because of the meditation, it wasn't because I read a book and the book told me to do it, it's because I just tried over and over and over again, and I got experience. Another factor is simply just growing older and getting some wisdom from that life experience. That's that, in my opinion. I think like if you have a goal to study and be a doctor, continuously studying and researching and developing yourself and just doing countless hours into that specific area of life will get you the most benefits in your life and the most self-improvement gains than anything else could. My biggest issue with it is productive procrastination. You think you're learning a lot, you think you're becoming such a great version of yourself, but realistically you're just increasing your dopamine while you're watching these videos or reading these books, and then it's going below baseline, and then you're a piece of shit again. So what you need to do is, even myself as a YouTuber, I'm telling you, you need to stop watching so many videos, you need to stop procrastinating and pretending that you're doing the work, and just go and do it. So if your goal is to be Mr. Olympia, instead of watching videos of other bodybuilders training, instead of researching into bodybuilding, instead of working on a diet program, instead of watching the latest scientific Jeff Nippard video, the best thing you can do is train very hard consistently, and also rest and recover very consistently. Yes, you need to research and do these other things, but they take a minuscule amount of time when it comes to the grand scheme of things, and the main thing that you need to do is take action. You need to do your due diligence when it comes to following and idolizing these creators. Should you idolize them? No, you shouldn't. But what I mean by that is, if there's somebody that you want to follow and that you resonate with them and you think, you know what, I connect with that person, I want to be more like them, I watch a lot of their content, so they're naturally going to rub off on me. You need to do your due diligence and realize, is this person even someone I can trust? Are they a scammer? Do they mess around? And the thing is, when you watch these videos, especially short form videos, you're in this like motivation bubble where you're not actually being disciplined whatsoever. Maybe you're disciplined for 1 or 2 days, and then it just goes back to motivation, and it goes back to you slacking. You watch a bunch of videos, you finally get yourself out of the loop, you're motivated, you go up, and then it goes back down again. You need to stop being in that spiral and actually just start working or doing the thing without procrastinating. You're in this motivational bubble where you're always like, yeah, but you need to realize discipline is waking up when your alarm clock goes off and you don't want to get out of bed. Discipline is going on a run when you don't want to run. Discipline is going to the gym when you don't feel like going to the gym. The thing is, when I was back completely in this self-help, self-improvement phase of my life, I thought I was disciplined, but I was nowhere near as disciplined as I am now, and I was running off motivation, and the days that I didn't really feel like doing stuff, I would slack, but I'd still think I was disciplined. But no, I was just running on motivation. You need to actually, when you don't feel like doing something, force yourself to do it. That is what true discipline is. And books are great. As you can see, I've got a few books. However, there's a certain amount of them that are just shit. Like, self-help books in general are kind of just shit. They're filled with crap, they have a lot of padding, and the core message of them are usually quite simple. Yes, there are some great ones out there, I will admit that. When it comes to reading nowadays, I am not looking for a self-help book. Like, the books that I plan on reading are either like masculinity based, or they're based on a specific problem in my business, or they're based on philosophy and improving my mindset, or it's business books. It's not going to be about a self-help book that's just general, vague, and is diluted compared to the source. So these self-help books, they might be like, it might be the 70th iteration of a principle that comes from the Stoics. So instead of reading this diluted version, you can just skip all of these versions, go halfway, go 3/4 of the way, or go to the original source, and that's when you'll get the best information and the most pure level of knowledge. And again, that point about masculinity, it has been beneficial for me because it's taught me to be a man in certain senses and navigate life and navigate my purpose and goals and ambitions and standing up for myself and acting less emotionally and things of that nature. So yes, books can be very helpful. Does that mean I follow everything in a book? No. Does that mean, me reading a book is going to go make me take action? No. But these books can be helpful, can increase your confidence, and can change your life to an extent. So I do recommend reading books. Make sure you're reading a good book, and also make sure you're not just wasting your time reading a book like multiple hours throughout a day instead of actually getting the main priority task done. When it comes to self-improvement, self-development, I'd say the biggest lever out there is identity and your self-image. Even if you believe you're ugly, this is one that I resonate with, and I guess I'll be a bit vulnerable here. I used to think I was genuinely ugly, and was I ugly? Probably at one point in my life I was a bit chopped. Then you know, as I got older, I wasn't as ugly. My style wasn't great, but it was like better than before. My haircuts weren't good, but they were better than before. I was just like probably 5 out of 10, average looking guy. I used to think I was ugly. I used to think I was like a 2 or a 3 out of 10. I thought I was horrible. And then, even though I started to hit the gym and I thought, you know what, I'm just okay, like, I'm nothing special. I was very insecure. I couldn't speak to people in social scenarios, guys or girls, and it was just quite difficult. However, I started to just believe that I was a 10 out of 10, and this sounds cringy, it sounds stupid, it sounds awesome, manifesting bullshit, but I just genuinely started to believe I was a 10 out of 10, and now it doesn't matter whatever bullshit anybody comes with, even if you commented a million times that I'm ugly or whatever, I would not believe it, because in my mind I believe I'm a 10 out of 10, and there is no way for you to disprove that self-perception that I have. I know I'm attractive, and there's so much evidence that I've got to support that, and so much evidence and compliments and things of that nature, that I literally cannot shatter this belief. And this is the most powerful thing. When you have an identity and a level of self-belief, that is when you can achieve all of this growth, because that comes first before anything else. What I mean by that is, with this ugly example, if you feel like you're ugly, if you just start telling yourself hundreds of times, and obviously you don't have to do this all in one go, it just happens over time, let's say over 3 months, 6 months, maybe a year, start just telling yourself over and over again, even though you don't believe it right now, you keep telling yourself, I'm attractive, I'm sexy, I'm a 10 out of 10, blah blah blah. Keep telling yourself that over and over and over and over and over again, and it'll come to a point where you still don't believe it, but you know, it's getting easier to say. Then it becomes to a point of, yeah, maybe I'm not that bad. Maybe some days you believe it, some days you don't. Then it comes to a point where you completely believe it, and then you're just waiting for life to catch up. Then you'll start to get evidence for your beliefs, certain compliments in this example that you wouldn't have, you know, paid attention to. Now that you pay more attention to them, you start working on yourself more consciously, and basically life catches up to your beliefs. So beliefs is, I'd say, the most powerful and most beneficial thing that you can work on. Look into it, because it is literally the thing that has changed my life the most in so many different manners. When you believe you're a person who goes to the gym consistently, you will then therefore start to go to the gym consistently. On the contrary, if you believe you're a guy who goes to the gym once or twice a week and you know you don't mind skipping it, that is how you're gonna act. My biggest advice for you, if you're trying to improve genuinely, and you know, this industry, all of these videos, everybody's confusing you, everyone's got different answers. Set out a list of goals, follow your ambitions, and ignore what everybody else is telling you. Follow this way to become successful, you have to do this or this or this. Ignore all of that bullshit, create your own path, and those influencers or YouTubers or whatever it may be, people that you are learning from, choose the ones who are in line with that path and in line with those goals of yours. Don't follow anyone blindly, and the biggest thing is take action instead of this mental masturbation and productive procrastination. That is all from me. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe and comment down below your thoughts, your opinions, and how self-improvement may have changed your life. I'm a specialist when it comes to dopamine detoxing, improving your productivity, and reducing your screen time. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.